I'm Emily Lomborg with the Steller Group, and today I'm here to continue with our video series on the first-time home buying process. Last time, we talked about getting started, finding the right agent, helping to identify a mortgage lender that you feel comfortable with and trust that can help you get started on that mortgage pre-approval process. Today we're going to focus on what you are looking for in a home. Once you do have your mortgage pre-approval, how do you figure out your lists of wants and needs? First and foremost, the number one thing you have to determine is who's going to be a decision maker in this home purchase process. Are you buying alone and you're the only decision maker? Are you buying with a spouse and a partner and you'll be making the decisions together? Or perhaps a parent or a family member will be helping you make this purchase and they're going to be involved in the decision-making process. It's critical to figure that out as your very first step before you start working on your wants and needs list. Once you do know who the decision makers are going to be, it's important that you do sit down and go over a thorough list of wants and needs. There are two different lists. Needs would include things like budget, knowing what you can afford, knowing what you can qualify for in a mortgage. There can be a difference between what you can qualify for and what you're comfortable paying. For instance, your mortgage lender might tell you you can qualify for a mortgage of $2,000 a month. However, you may feel like, I only feel comfortable paying $1,500 a month. It's really important not to max out on your comfort level and stick within your budget. Don't shop above your budget feeling like you'll be able to negotiate down. Right now in today's market, it really is a pretty strong seller's market, and it's very common to pay at or even above the asking price, so don't assume otherwise. Another need would be location. Where do you need to live? Do you need to be within a certain geographic parameter right around your office, right around school, a certain school district? Perhaps a church or the airport if you're a frequent traveler. You want to make sure that you stay searching within the parameters that you're comfortable in and where you need to be geographically. Another need would be your space. Are you living alone or are you going to be living with other people? How many bedrooms do you need? Do you have kids? Do you work at home? Do you need a dedicated workspace? Do you have any kind of physical limitations, for instance, that would keep you from going up and down the stairs or getting in and out of a bathtub? Do you have pets that might require some kind of outside space? So these are the kind of things you want to think about when you're determining what kind of space you need in your home. Condition. Everybody watches HGTV these days. Do you want your own fixer-upper? When you're considering that, you really need to think about the budget. Do you have money after closing to fix up a home? Do you have the bandwidth and the time and the skills it takes to fix up a home? Or do you really just want something that is move-in ready? Do you need a garage or a dedicated parking space? If you didn't have a garage or a dedicated parking space, if they weren't included, would you still consider making the purchase? On the other hand, you have your wants list, and these are just the things that you might like, the finishes on the inside of the house, the kind of countertops, how the bathrooms are finished. Does it have a gas stove? Does it have a fireplace or a gas fireplace? And if it doesn't have all the finishes you want, would you still consider buying it knowing that you can add some of those things over time? For instance, if the right home for you doesn't have a gas stove and that's something you were really hoping for, would you be willing to go for it anyway and knowing that you can always add a gas stove later? The more open you are on your wants list, the more homes will come up in your search criteria. In every home search, there are always compromises, and a lot of times it just takes getting out and seeing some homes before you figure out what your compromises are going to be. Are you willing to give up on a couple things here in order to get some other things there? Getting out into the market and seeing some homes, you realize what's realistic in your own price range. Like I said, there's always going to be some compromises, but you don't want to compromise too much. And your agent is really going to be a great guide to help you figure out what's worthwhile to compromise on and what's not. So a good first step in this process is filling out a detailed wants and needs checklist, which I've attached below. When you meet with your agent, you'll want to go over this in detail so they really understand what's important to you and what you're looking for.